Hi folks, welcome. Glad to have you here. Tonight, what I'm going to do, this little piece of live oak, it's a little live oak cookie. It was really kind of wonky. Oak was actually felled 3 years ago. So it's been drying for a while. I'm not worried about it moving much. I did have both sides covered with white latex paint. This side right here where the bark came loose, I ran it through my planer a few times, and that's what happened there because this side was about, I don't know, 4 inches thick over here. On the other side, right over here, it was only about 2 inches. So I planed it down to about 3 inches, and then I took care of the last inch on the prep in the bottom. Took it over to my drill press. This isn't really flat, but it's close. Took it to the drill press, put a 2-inch mortise in it for my shuck. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to make this just a little bit more narrow. It's a good 1/4 of an inch. It don't need to be that high. I probably will leave the foot, but I'm going to blend it when it's all said and done. Since I've already lost the bark, I'm not going to be able to keep it. So I'm going to start working on my final shape. That's about 970 RPM. I think that's fast enough. Okay, that foot is just about right. Mortise isn't too deep. Now remember, the tree grew this way. So, because this is end grain, I'm not going to cut this way. I'm going to try to make as many of my cuts as possible going this way because I'll be cutting at an angle. And with the grain running like this, or like this, if I cut this way, then I have supported fibers down here. And I'm not making an unsupported cut. If I try to cut this way, when I get out closer to the edge, these fibers aren't supported and they'll tear out. So far. What I'm doing now is detailing the foot. Nice little OG. So now I'm going to sand in both directions. I'm going to start with 120. I'm going to put me some abrasive paste on here. I don't want to use lacquer. I really like how it nice on some pieces. And I just put it on my hand. Technically, you're supposed to wait about 20 minutes before you buff the Howard speed and wax. But and when I'm doing a recording turn, I do just that. But this is not a recording turn, so I'm going to speed things up. Let me get over here so you can see it. And when I've done the inside, I will turn this around and I will treat in here. But I've got to do something else and I'll burn my logo in. Well, I got your attention. If you don't mind, after this video is over, scroll down into the description and take a look at some of my sponsors. Arneal Media for all your website needs. He's the guy to go to. Great dude. I don't think anybody can touch his prices, and he stays on top of your website. It's just, he's really that good. If you don't need a whole lot of help with your website, you just want to start a domain, go see Steve. He can help you out. Axe Abrasive Paste, you saw me use it. Discount code is in the description below. It's really not a bad product. I still use it because I like it. It does what I need it to do. Starbond Premium Superglues, also discount code in the description below. Click on that link, it'll save you 20%. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. All this really helps us out. I'm going to keep this a little thick just because it's cattywampus. About 3/8 of an inch, maybe a quarter. Got a little bit of a ridge. Right there. Switch to my 5/8. It's not a 40/40 grind, unfortunately. That is as deep as I want to go right there. Nothing left now but the sanding, however. because I wanted to knock these pieces out right here. Now I can sand it and finish it up. That's a pretty good crack right there, let me tell you. But I don't want to fill it. I don't want to fill any of it. I want to leave it naturally cracked. Sometimes I like to leave the pieces as nature gave them to me. And this is one of those instances. I've got this sanded like I did the outside. It's nice and smooth, except for where the cracks are. It's smooth on either side, but you can feel the crack. Time for the abrasive paste. We're almost done. You see this? This is a piece of maple. You see the black lines right here? And you can see some up here. And there's some gray up here and more black lines over here. That's called black line spalting. This is caused from fungus that attacks downed trees. It's just part of the natural breakdown process. And in the process of the fungus breaking the wood down, it causes one of two things. It causes a spalting that's called mottling, Mottling, and that's where the natural grain color of the wood just kind of fades and mixes, and you'll have different shades of cream and tan, and it's got a mottled look, almost marbly. I've seen it do both in the same piece of tree or same bull blank even. Some woods don't spalt black; they spalt gray or kind of a gray blue, and those can be really, really pretty. If you let it go too far, it gets punky. This went too far. See this stuff right here? That's called punky wood. It's called punky because look how soft it is. That's spalting or natural decay gone too far. So if you let it go too far, it gets punky. If you stop it at the right time, you see this, the black stuff right in here? That's black line spalting. You can see it here and here, almost like circles or cells. Some here. Something else you can see in this is the mottling I was telling you about. Look at this black line spalt right here. And notice that on each side of it, the wood is a different color. It's darker on this side and lighter on this side. And then you get down into this where it's mottled, and you can see the black line spalt around there, and you got dark spots on the middle again. So that's what spalting does to a piece of wood. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple of pieces of, I've got a couple of bowls on my website that are spalted maple that are really, really pretty. Can I use? Hang on. Let me get my oil rubbed in here. No, but go to one of my other videos and go down to my Amazon affiliate link. I'll get a little money off of that sale, and it doesn't cost you any more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. This bowl's not quite finished yet. It's a little thicker than I like to leave them sometimes, but with the cracks in it, I feel better with it being a little thicker because the crack runs all the way through. You can see through it. You can see through it in several places. And you can see that one crack, you can see the light through it now. That one crack almost goes all the way across the bowl. I would turn this around and put it either in my coal jaws or in my donut chuck, and I would burn my logo in here and finish this bottom off. I will do that off camera later, and in the next few days, this piece will be up on my website. Well, I did it. Started it live the other night, finished everything except the bottom. You can see lots of light through this thing. It had a bunch of cracks in it, Quite frankly, I'm surprised it held together. But I turned it around and finished the bottom up. I left a nice little foot on it, but it sits nice and flat. Burned my logo in the bottom. Anybody that might be interested, this is going on the website. I'm gonna sell it just like it is, cracks and all. I actually like it. Doug Miller said he was surprised it held together. Frankly, so was I, especially when I got inside and saw the extent of some of these cracks. This crack here, goes almost all the way to the rim. And over here, it goes, even closer to the rim. They nearly met in the pith of the bowl. There is maybe 1.75 inches in here holding this whole thing together. And that was kind of tricky. It was kind of scary, actually. It's simple finish. It's got 2 coats of Howard feeding wax on it. That'll keep it nice and protected, and it's natural and very smooth, except when you run your fingers over the cracks. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all come back and see us. Maybe we can turn something that's not quite so wonky. And remember, live, laugh, love.